it's one of the most gorgeous sequences in Star Wars.
This looks like the perfect blend of practical and VFX. The ones that really stand out are the ones that have a story behind them.
That's Jet Li.
Wait, and then that wasn't Jet Li.
Oh! Whoa, pause on that!
What's up, everybody? We're doing it. VFX Artists React. We're on the couch. It's myself, it's Ren, and it's Jordan Allen.
Oh my gosh.
We got Clint back today, guys. And he's sitting in his classic spot rather than the special guest spot here in the middle because it only feels right.
It does.
It's disgusting. This was my spot. The butt is still the shape, like, it's reminiscent. I feel at home.
Lots of butts have tried, but none have fit. It's the Cinderella
It's the
slipper
Cinderella
of butts.
butt couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I came with you to be part of something.
Andor Season 2 is coming out, and we haven't actually looked at the effects from the first season of Andor. I assume you haven't seen Andor.
No.
Easy assumption. No, Andor, out of all of the Star Wars properties, is easily the coolest.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Like, I love that one, you know? This is Coruscant.
Dude, that's so sick. I love this like center framed kind of cinematography style. I'm such a sucker for that.
It's really compelling, it's really fun, and I really like their philosophy behind doing their visual effects. They really wanted to ground their effects in reality, and to do that, they basically shot on location for a lot of their sequences, and they would end up replacing a lot of the stuff in the shot. Those shots still contributed to the final look, you know? It's what I keep calling informed intent. It's like everyone's on the same page about the composition of the shot, the way the shot should feel. Even if it's all getting replaced, it's still contributing to what they're trying to do. So basically, these are just some befores and afters.
Oh, wow.
So I think this is like
It's a real place.
Convention center?
I think it's a convention center in Vancouver somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like they're shooting the people, but then everything outside the window is replaced.
Wow.
The next one is also a great example here. This is in Coruscant. She's got this very fancy flying car. She gets in, but the car is reflecting green screen. It's reflecting all of this other stuff. So the whole front of the car, fully replaced. It's almost spot on.
Yeah.
It looks almost identical to the point I was like, oh yeah, no, they definitely just kept it. But if you actually look at individual details, they do change.
Whoa, they replaced the door too.
They did, yeah.
But it just makes so much sense because, like, you get all the bounce line, all the reflections and stuff. Like, comping a real thing into like a full 3D shot is like one of the hardest things, and that's why there's like so many janky shots like in Marvel where you can just tell like, oh, this is the green screen the movie essentially. But replacing it all, that's why it's just easier to replace everything in CG.
This is a really interesting one because it's like they shot on some sort of like
Holy crap!
industrial yard here, and they added a bunch of real practical machines. But then they added a bunch of digital machines matching the sort of aesthetic and lighting of the real ones there.
That's
I
insane.
love the use of reference. And they're keeping the front of that ship, the practical one, they're keeping large elements of that, it looks like.
What I found interesting about this, so they actually did a lot of shooting on all these really cool locations, and they just embraced the sort of weather that they had. So if you look at the sky, typically when you shoot stuff on location like this, the skies always get replaced. Look at the sky.
Yeah. Same sky.
And here I thought it was interesting because the double in the mocap suit is in full shade. But for the render, they're like, oh, it looks a little bit better if you get a bit of a sun swing in there.
Dude, that robot looks so good.
I know. It's those like subtle surface imperfections on it, you know.
Nice. Most of that is just original plate. That's awesome.
Oh, this is so much fun.
This comes back to the philosophy of trying to ground everything. It doesn't necessarily mean doing everything practically. That's a misunderstanding. So the little robot guy was practical in 95% of the shots of the whole thing. But again, it's not necessarily because they're doing it practically makes it better. They can fully replicate this in CG. There's the whole meteor sequence. I think it's called the Eye.
Yeah,
And it's one of the most gorgeous sequences in Star Wars. Ships are trying to like dodge actual pieces of burning debris falling out of the sky. We have scanline VFX, we have ILM doing all this stuff. It's fully CG, but they're trying to mimic the sort of miniature photography of the original films.
This looks like the perfect blend of practical and VFX. And it's just expertly composited together. There's something to your movie like actually having happened. You filmed it. It existed in a certain moment in time.
Watching a video of someone playing an amazing piano solo versus watching a CG piano solo, it doesn't hit the same because it doesn't feel as tactile. So knowing that these things exist in the real world is it's just kind of cool.
It's exciting.
And it is cool too, because like you say, it's like having everyone on the same page during production itself helps the cohesiveness of the entire product on the back end too.
Totally.
Man, Andor is such a different show than the rest of Star Wars. It's all about tension and trauma and inner conflict between characters. You know, you can really feel how much they're holding in, and I kind of relate as a producer here at Corridor with all the projects that we're doing and things flying by, and sometimes you just don't even have the time to just be in your own head for a little bit or really think about what you're feeling. You know, where do you find the time? Well, that's why I'm here to tell you about today's sponsor, Betterhelp. I've actually personally been using Betterhelp for the last year, and it's surprisingly been a very supportive and solid experience for me. And I'm happy to be working with them to promote Mental Health Awareness Month to end the stigma around therapy. It's not about being at your worst or rock bottom. It's about having someone who's trained to help you sort through all the stuff as a man that they tell you to just shove into the background. It's online, it's flexible, there's no more commute or awkward first interaction. You can get paired with a licensed therapist in just a couple days, and you can keep switching it up until you find the right fit. What's more convenient than that? So if you've ever thought about talking to somebody or just genuinely curious about what the experience might be like, go to betterhelp.com/corridorcrew or just click the link in the description below. They'll give you 10% off your first month, and it honestly helps support the channel, so I'm grateful for that. So in the meantime, let's get back to some sick VFX.
Today, Clint has brought with him a bunch of Render Challenge winners that we're gonna be breaking down here on the couch. You've been doing a whole bunch of cool stuff on your channel. Clint, what are these Render Challenges? Explain this to the people who don't do VFX.
I give 3D artists a 5-second template, and they have 30 days to create anything they want using that template.
You get like thousands of artists submitting work that they spent dozens, if not hundreds of hours on.
Crazy.
It is crazy. I didn't expect from like all different countries around the world. You know, just try and set up something fun for artists to do. I love challenges. I am a sucker for challenges.
Let's take a look at some of these here. We're only gonna be looking at like the top of the top, the crispiest of the cream.
So this was the first challenge. This was Parallel Dimensions. 125 submissions on this one.
The thing that always blows me away with these renders is that every one is just packed with detail. There's so much happening in the background, the foreground.
What's really cool is like each of these artists have different ways of tackling the same thing, and like everyone has all these wildly different ideas.
It kind of feels like a Rorschach test in a way.
Oh, totally.
Like they all get the exact same pattern, and the way that they all paint in the details so uniquely is what's so intriguing to me.
Yeah, like the style here, like obviously this is not a photorealistic render, but it is also just, it's leaning into a very toon shaded type of style.
And they have the smoke animated on 2s, the camera animated on 1s. It's a really cool style choice.
So that Parallel Dimensions was the first one. Then the second one, once word got out, a lot more people submitted to that one.
Yeah, for sure. And we had 2,600 submissions.
Yeah, that was when it was like, oh, this is a thing. This is a big deal.
Yeah, we had no idea.
So this is an example of the sort of template that you would get. And essentially what you provided was just a project file that has a moving camera and some mocapped animation of a character walking, right? Just some rough inspiration for shapes.
Yeah, for sure. So the rule was to like use the template, and that sphere is included in the template. So you need to create something that fills that visual weight.
Like compositionally.
Compositionally, yeah. You see they used like the soft, they use a softbox for that. And this changes from challenge to challenge.
And the reason why that works is that once you actually put them all together in a montage, it's the same sort of shot. So it almost looks like it's the same person just walking forever.
All these rules are just built around it has to flow through the montage. The renders have to connect. That's it.
I love how, some people are using the mountain ranges and just that negative space for the sky.
Totally.
That's really, really cool. Hey, there it is, toilet bowl.
Yes.
Goal.
For the top 100 montages, we get them like custom scored and everything. So the music really brings it all together and it flows together. Usually it's like 3 tracks. It feels like a act 1, 2, and 3.
Didn't this one end up winning?
Yeah, I think it was first place. Cool one. The ones that really stand out to me personally are the ones that have a story behind them. You know, you can tell like something's going on. There's an emotional element. It doesn't just look cool. And like, I love this one so much.
That's really awesome.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, the stories are what pull me in. Like the most recent one that you guys did,
Chasm's Call.
The main winner was that army attacking.
Yes.
There's a lot going on here.
Have
you seen the breakdown? I'm sure you've seen the breakdown.
Oh yeah.
There's details. He's doing crowd sim stuff, and what I love about this entire series is it showcases just how talented artists are these days and how flexible they are between multiple programs. Again, like the modeling, the shading, the lighting, crowd sims, the other sims, cloth sims, you've got fire sims, smoke sims in here, you got all sorts of complex stuff built up in one 5-second clip that one person has executed so well.
Dude, this one's so good. South Korea, oh, man, they're killing it.
The story's right there.
Is insane. It's all handmade too, no AI. So that's one of the rules. You guys are in here somewhere. Like it'll pop up at some point.
This is the one challenge that we participated in.
Yeah.
In a weird way, actually, and thinking about it, your challenge is responsible for me working at Corridor.
That's pretty crazy.
Isn't that cool?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I give yourself a little bit more credit though.
No, it was your challenge. Can we send him half my paycheck?
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is. I had no idea what I was doing.
There's a lot going on here. The idea is that, Clint, you're kind of retreating away from these little mini zombies that get knocked off the slide from the ball.
They're actually members of the crew that were scanned.
So as far as jank goes, it's like I put a lot of time into trying to modeling that corner of the room. I started with the photo scan, but like the photo scan wasn't very good, so I ended up replacing a lot of it. But the mocap version of you was janking out. Every like fourth frame, your leg would like clip through the ground and then come back.
Dude, my foot is like, I can't even do it.
And yeah, then the idea is that it goes into hell and you have all like the rock walls and the fire.
So cool.
I was pretty happy with all the texturing and lighting through all that.
Yeah, it looks great. The glow is perfect.
Yeah. So you've done 10 challenges at this point.
10 challenges.
What would you say was like your favorite challenge?
My favorite one has to be boss fight. The template was so sick. Like, I think Sam said it best. He was like, it's so clear. It's big guy, little guy challenge.
Whoa.
Oh, I just freaking love it, man.
Like, it's got the slow-mo element to it and everything, which I'm such a huge fan of.
And I love that it's got the parallax
Yeah.
included in that camera move. That lets you in on the depth of the world a little bit.
This one is insane. Fabricio, god dang.
Oh, I shot. That's sick.
Fabricio is the only person who has won first place twice in a row on
That's
these
so
challenges.
nuts. It's awesome, man. It's so cool.
If you just want to have a good chill time watching some of the most incredible art, throw this playlist on and just sit back and watch.
If you want to watch the montages, if you've never seen them, there's a playlist down below. Come on over to my channel. And we got the next challenge going in August. So if you want to participate in one of these, let's do it. It's a good way to learn and grow.
Well, Clint, I know that you, like me, are a huge Jackie Chan fan.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, growing up, did you also partake in the kung fu stylings of one Jet Li?
Like Fearless, Jet Li's Fearless, like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So good.
The One is one of my favorites.
The One.
And so I figured we could take a look at the final fight sequence.
Dude, the transporter is in this?
Yeah, with hair. The story behind this is that there was not just one of you, there was a multiverse of you. Jet Li plays the character who is jumping between those timelines and killing all the other versions of himself.
Yola! You came here for me.
Dude, wait, hold up. How did they do that one?
Dude, there's a lot of tricks in this. Yeah, I'm curious after the fight scene to hear what you guys think they did as far as approaches. That's hilarious. That's
Wait, he's like keyed in.
that's pure goofy just.
Why is he transparent? His legs and arms are literally transparent.
They are. That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
That would hurt so bad. Oh man, because that would break all your teeth.
I want to get up like this, dude.
Wait. Is that a yoga class?
Whoa, okay. I saw some face replacement going on there.
This is like WWE entrance level of fireworks.
The Undertaker!
Look at this.
John Cena!
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Look at this. Look at these sparks.
Oh, we're sparking,
Compression
brother.
City, dude.
Whoa! Wait, are those CG sparks then?
Oh, they gotta be, yeah, of course.
Dude, if at the end of the fight one of them gets sucked up into a tornado,
And spit out the top of
that's how
the
it
screen.
It'd be so confusing. Yeah.
It's like the end of Christmas Vacation.
Don't drop that!
Get him. Yes.
Whoa, that catch.
Sick.
That was the fight.
That was the fight. Oh wait, there's this too.
Wait, here comes the death.
There's this. He's got to pull himself.
Yeah, there was also just like that 50
Soul suck.
It just kind of like just kind of like
Dude, if at the end of the fight one of them gets sucked up into a tornado. That is how it happens. It just ends with them getting thrown up in a freaking smashed tornado. So the challenge here is that you have an actor, world-class martial artist, famous movie star, but you need two of them, but you can only afford one of them.
So they have like Matrix VFX, right? They have like the ability to do digital doubles.
This is 2001.
Yeah.
And there's some ability to do CG. It's still, limited in its ability. And so what do you think are some of the approaches that they're taking?
Well, split screen for sure.
Yeah.
But this first shot here, that rack focus.
Perfect composite. That would be a split screen. You shoot two separately, try to match that rack as best you can with a locked camera, and then it's simply just splicing the image together, right? So
The challenge there is getting that focus
timing.
pull to match.
it's got to be perfect, or at least close to. But yeah, so there's the split screen approach, of course, and then there's the stunt double approach, which is great for hiding in high kinetic moments. But like you said, you got to have those moments where you see them both on screen at the same time.
Yeah, otherwise you're not doing it.
Yeah.
We're trying some new things with the computer in terms of face replacement that hopefully will allow us to seamlessly present two jets.
So that is absolutely one of the things they did. They did full head replacements for some of these shots, not even just face, like full head replacements, and shot it all on blue screen. And the hard part of that is obviously you have to painstakingly match the lighting that was on set. And then to a tempo or to something, have to perfectly mimic his performance.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And so
now
that the head aligns as best they can. Now in comp, you can shift the head around and stuff, but when it's rotating, when it's turning, when it's like moving perspective, you have to time it. Did you guys see the comp in the previous shot?
No.
When he jumps up and kicks, take a look at the face.
Right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, his eye line is like off.
Yeah, the floating head. So this is a series of still images that they're just like animating.
But in motion, I didn't
Yeah, it's
notice
great.
at all.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that was
so
not him.
here you've got a totally different guy in there.
Yeah.
We can get away with it. But then you've got a moment where you can't hide it, and you need to sell that both of them are there, and it's right here.
Oh, that's good.
Just play that in motion. As a still, it sells. The motion is what kind of gives it away a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, when it was paused, I was like, okay, which one's the real jet? It's the guy underneath the axe. The guy in the back holding him, he's got a nice little roto line with that collar.
Yeah. And it's just the head, just the shifting, the way the motion blur's looking, like you don't feel the weight shift in the motion of.
Is that an actual flag coming in and causing the shadow?
I don't think so.
Is
Gotta
it?
be. Look, how are they?
Yeah, no,
it
it
is,
is.
it
It
is,
is.
it is,
It's
it
a real
is.
shadow. And
Yeah,
the reason why
good.
you can tell it's a real shadow versus just color grading it down is that harsh line from the shadow under his hair goes away.
Yeah.
If you were just to try to color correct that out, you wouldn't really be able to get rid of that.
So on that blue screen set, they're matching this initial lighting, and then to that same tempo or to the timing or whatever they're doing, they're flagging practically.
Honestly, that's a really good shot.
I know.
That's
it works
really well done.
Yeah.
it works
Like,
really well.
I mean, you guys didn't catch it initially on the first viewing, so that's a win, right?
No, not at all.
There is one other method that they used, and let's go to the axe moment. Right there. That's Jet Li.
Wait, and then that wasn't Jet Li. Hold on, right here.
Oh! Whoa, pause on that! Who is that?
That is a CG face replacement of Jet Li on a masked stunt double.
What are you talking about?
Dude, look at this behind the scenes footage. They scanned Jet and they rendered the head and they did a face replacement with the CG head for that
Hannibal
shot.
Lecter, dude.
The stunt coordinator is basically saying, my guys couldn't see a thing. Like they had no peripheral vision for all this crazy choreography because they're wearing this friggin' the mask.
They're having to replace his face for all of those shots.
Every time that they're using the CG approach, yes, they are. But they're very specific about when they do it. It has to be a super fast moment. It has to be the camera far away. Like there were limitations of the day. Yeah. They couldn't just go ham like we can today. Basically. Look at that. Look at this, dude. The shadow pass, the specular pass.
Okay. Highlights,
And
sure.
little by little that head comes together and then they use the mask face mat that they draw to put that face in.
Interesting.
But the cool thing is that axe was CG too.
Oh, no
cool.
kidding.
And it looked great.
It
I didn't
did.
realize.
Yeah. And you were talking about the sparks too.
Yeah.
But they filmed 2 passes of that. They filmed the actual action, the fight sequence, at 24 frames per second. And then they went back and they filmed practical sparks at 120 frames per second. There
Like,
are
you see how the
also,
sparks are landing on his head? And
there are also digital sparks added as well for all the contact and all that stuff. But they did film practical spark plates at a different frame rate to account for this move.
I love how when he flips, he actually hits some of those sparks out of the way.
Yeah. So it's cool. There's there's so much technical challenge that you don't expect. And then that leads us to the wormhole too. I mean, we're transitioning to full CG people at that point, right? In 2001, that's a big ask. So they had to do cyber scans.
Cyber scans!
They literally called them cyber scans, which is way cooler than what we say now.
Yeah, we call them photo scans now.
Yeah, but they had to cyber scan all of these people. And it's so crazy. They start splitting,
Whoa. Whoa.
reforming.
That was all full CG.
Yeah.
Even them landing there.
Even
like,
the Jason Statham, I love Jason at the top.
Yeah, pause on that.
PS1 Jason, I love him.
But that's like really well done.
Yeah, it is. And they cyber scanned their bodies, but there was a big problem when they were doing it, and it's that all the outfits are black. And the way that the cyber scanner worked is it needed
reference.
the light returning from the lasers that were scanning them.
And black absorbs light.
Yeah, black absorbs light, so they weren't able to do that. So what was their solution? They made identical outfits, full costumes in all white.
Oh, sick.
Just for the scan.
That's
And then they were
sick.
able to digitally switch them back to black. But that's how they captured the outfits and the bodies for these digital scenes.
It's like the heaven versions, the angel versions.
And then they immediately cut away to a real plate, so it works.
So it works. That is the one. I love it. It's dear to my heart, and I'm glad we got a chance to look at it.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for having me. It was a really good time to be back. Thank you, guys. Let me know I'm down anytime.
Deal. Okay, that's legally binding, by the way, so keep your phone on you.